Fearing Allah is actually considered a beginner level of faith by not just spiritual teachers in Islam, but also according to modern neuroscience. And I want to show you something that will blow your mind. I don't say this in a judgmental way in terms of like low vibration, maybe a little bit, but I'm trying not to. But hey, I'm just trying a little bit. That look, low vibrational state, when a lot of Muslims, they're operating in that very shame, angry, and very, fear-based idea. In Islam, there are different maqamat, right? There are sort of your spiritual matureness. And the beginner levels, there's nothing bad with that. It's not that, oh, you were bad for doing that. But the beginner levels is that of khawf, which is that of fear, right? What's fascinating is Dr. R. Hawkins, he talks about the same concept where, he's a psychiatrist and he's also a researcher into consciousness. And he spent over 20 years to test sort of the energetic impact of our beliefs and emotions, especially in regards to our perception of Allah, right? So he basically made this map of consciousness, which is a scale from 0 to 1,000. And what he found out is that every single emotion has a frequency, right? And that frequency has an impact on your physical health, on your mental health, awareness, and your spiritual clarity. Now, what is amazing is that you had spiritual teachers in Islam, and it's like, how did these people know this, right? They were talking about maqamat, which are stations of the heart, right? And what they talked about is the early stations in your spiritual, maturity is, when you're operating from that shame and guilt, which is tawbah, so you're repenting, you are cleansing the heart from that. And then you have, khawf, which again, lower vibrational state, fear of hell, punishment. Then you move up, just like Dr. R. Hawkins is talking about, which is the middle part, which is hope, raja, right? And then you move up a bit more, which is, trust. But then you move higher, right? Muhabba, which is love of Allah, right? You have that love of Allah. And according to Dr. R. Hawkins, his research proved the same thing. When you are operating from a perception where your nervous system perceives Allah as all loving. If you asked me a few years ago, is Allah all loving? Before I started healing, I was like, yeah, Allah's all loving. Allah's all loving, yeah. Because I was afraid if I didn't say it, Allah would throw me in hell. So I was truly also operating in a place of fear, Allah, right? Until I truly healed my relationship with Allah. And so your perception of Allah, so love of Allah, also determines how you essentially perceive the world, right? So love of Allah, according to the spiritual teachers, is the higher level, right? It's and then you have uns, or intimacy, or ihsan, where you essentially see Allah in everything. Wherever you turn the face, there is the face of Allah, right? The moment of fana as well, which is this ego dissolvement, where the ego no longer exists, right? La mawjood illallah. According to his research,